Malaysia's top court ordered former Prime Minister Najib Razak to begin a 12-year prison sentence. He was found guilty on charges related to a multi-billion-dollar graft scandal at State Fund Malaysia Development Berhad. Our next report brings you all the details.
The former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Najib Razak, has been ordered by the country's highest court to begin a 12-year prison sentence after the court upheld his prior guilty conviction on charges related to the multi-billion-dollar graft scandal at the state fund called One Malaysia Development Berhad, or 1MDB. Knocking back Najib's final appeal, the country's top court also denied his request for a stay of sentence. Najib was found guilty by a lower court in July 2020 of criminal breach of trust, abuse of power and money laundering for illegally receiving about $10 million from SRC International, a former unit of 1MDB. He'd been out on bail and pending appeals. This was Najib on Tuesday, hours before the ruling.
I'd like to thank everyone for showing up and showing me your support. I have tried with all that I can, but everything I propose to the court is rejected. I did not get my justice, and I didn't get a fair trial based on its principles.
He's also facing a fine of over $46.8 million. The court had earlier rejected an effort by Najib to forestall the final verdict by requesting the removal of the Chief Justice from the panel. Prosecutors have said some $4.5 billion was stolen from 1MDB, which was co-founded by Najib during his first year as Prime Minister in 2009. Investigators say they traced more than $1 billion of 1MDB money to accounts linked to him.
Despite UK government's plan to deport illegal migrants to Rwanda, number of people crossing the English Channel to make their way to Britain has not dropped. This is almost 1,300 migrants crossed the English Channel in small boats on Monday, setting a new record for crossings in a single day. According to UK's Ministry of Defence, nearly 1,300 migrants had made the crossing in 27 boats, topping the previous high of some 1,200 people that was recorded last November. It's the highest daily toll since current records began in 2018. So far this month, over 6,000 migrants have made the crossing, compared to some 3,600 people in July. Now in 2021, over 28,500 people entered UK in small boats, with the highest number from Iran, followed by Iraq, Eritrea and Syria. So far this year, more than 22,000 migrants have come to UK, with government officials warning that the number can touch 60,000 by the end of the year. Although summer surge happens every year, this year's numbers are quite alarming. This comes despite government's plans to deport illegal migrants to East African nation of Rwanda. The outgoing Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, had hoped that the threat of deporting people to Rwanda would act as a deterrent to those arriving in boats. However, the growing numbers suggest that the fear mechanism is not quite working here. Under the controversial Rwanda policy struck in April this year, Britain said that it will send thousands of migrants to East African country to ease the pressure from UK. Despite efforts, the plan has not been implemented due to massive resistance from rights groups who have called the plan unethical. The migrant crisis has caused a significant political headache for the UK government, which had promised tighter border controls in the Brexit deal. It has also heightened tensions between London and Paris, with the UK government accusing France of not doing enough to stop illegal crossings.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.